This is Maya Andreasen, and today we are going to go over how to create a Playblast from Maya. So I'm using Autodesk Maya 2025, and I have here a barrel and ground cover that I have made a turntable for. And what I want to do is I want to make a Playblast. So here are the steps that we're going to take to make a Playblast of the following animation. So first thing that I'm going to do is go back to frame one. So the timeline here is where you want to make sure your cursor is located. We're going to right mouse press on the timeline and you'll see that there's an option for Playblast. I'm going to open the Playblast. I'm actually going to reset settings so that we're back to the default and you see what needs to be changed. And I'm going to open it a little bit wider and larger so we see everything. So the first thing you want to make sure of is your format. Right now the format is AVI, which is the only format that is currently available. There is encoding, but I'm going to put it at none. You can always use Adobe Media Encoder if you have it available, or QuickTime Pro to re-render your Playblast to something smaller in terms of size, so you can optimize it for the web using those two programs if you need to. I am going to put the quality to 100, and I'm going to scale up my scale to 1. If you keep the scale at 0.5, that means your video will be half the size of your viewport, and the viewport is this area here of what we see. Okay, and lastly, and this is, well, not lastly, but frame padding, keep it at 4, and lastly, save to file. This is really one of the most important, because if you don't save it to file, then you will make a Playblast, but you'll view it once and then it'll be gone. The program will not save it. So we're going to browse. I recommend going to where you set your project. And so I already did a test video here before, so we're going to do it again. Barrel test movie 02, because this is the second one that I am creating. And we're going to save. For the Playblast to work, you have to click Playblast. And you should know it's working when you see the timeline go and the animation occur, and voila, our video automatically opened. And here it is. We have successfully created a Playblast. I purposely had my topology showing in the Playblast. If you do not want your topology showing, because when you create a Playblast, it is going to make a recording of everything that's on screen. So if you don't want a Playblast with your topology, you unclick this little option, which is wireframe on shaded, or you go to shading and you can uncheck wireframe on shaded, or you can click Alt-5. Either and all of those work. If you don't want the grid to be visible, you can unclick this little icon here and you'll no longer see the grid. You can also go to usually show, and it will typically show everything that's in the viewport, including the grid, though, yeah, right here. Here it is, including the grid, which I've already unchecked. Now the other thing that we have visible here, if you don't want those things in your Playblast, is we have like our camera options showing us the XYZ axis. We show the camera the scale, what camera is being used. So we can always go once again to show and we can look for all of those things. So they have this in 2025, they've made it so that it's according to category, which is pretty cool. So we can unclick camera. So if there's any cameras or lights in the scene, they won't show. We can also go under display. And there's heads up display. I already turned off poly count, but here is the view axis. So we're going to turn that off, and now that's gone. And let's see, camera names. We're going to turn that off so the camera names are no longer there. And let's see, and view queue. So I think the only thing that we have now is the actual size of the camera. Now we have a fairly clean scene. The other thing too is if you want to change the color of your background, you can hit Alt B and for boy, Alt B as in boy, and that will change your background color, right? I think I like this light one. It's kind of cool. All right, so we're going to make one more Playblast. And so we're going to right mouse press, go to the Playblast options box. Everything's great except I want to change the name. So we're going to do this and we're going to call this clean. And we're going to Playblast it. And voila. All right, that's how you create a Playblast in Maya. Until next time, I'm Maya Andreasen. Bye-bye.